Welcome to Stock Talk with Mike. I'm back with another video on C Limited, ticker SE. They've been on absolute fire, up another 3.36% today, hitting all-time highs, up I think over 60% year to date, over 100% over the last 52 weeks. And I want to share some interesting data from something I pulled from their last Q2 earnings report, and then looking a little deeper into that I think could be an interesting growth driver for them moving forward. Before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I like to cover a lot of high growth stocks and innovative companies that I think have a strong chance of market beating returns over the long term. I've done a number of videos on C Limited. They're the Singapore-based e-commerce player serving Southeast Asia. They have a huge market, hitting a population of over 676 million. So a massive addressable market, whether that's Thailand, the Philippines, or Singapore itself. All these countries highlighted in blue here. And then they also have a digital entertainment wing of their business where they produce mobile video games like their hit Free Fire, which has been absolute revenue generating beast for them. And then they're also in the digital payment space with C Money. But I was rereading their Q2 earnings, and this little snippet here I found really interesting. It caused me to want to dive a little bit deeper. They stated, I am also encouraged to note that Shopee, which is their e-commerce platform, continued to see growing traction in Brazil. So that's not Southeast Asia, that's in Latin America. So think Mercado Libre's turf. So very interesting. According to App Annie, Shopee ranked first in Brazil by downloads and total time spent in-app, and ranked the second most popular mobile app by average active users in the shopping category for the second quarter. So very interesting. That definitely is a new area for them. They don't really talk about these new global expansions into other countries and the breakdown of revenue between these. So this definitely caused me to want to look a little deeper into this expansion into areas of Latin America. And a recent Reuters article that just came out recently, kind of saying the same thing, but mentioned how the e-commerce market in Brazil has been growing very rapidly, accelerating as of late, largely accelerated due to the pandemic. In 2020, they saw 44% growth to 42 billion in e-commerce. And they also mentioned how Shopee emerges Brazil's top app by downloads and time spent in use, again, according to App Annie. So interesting that they've risen to the top so quickly. So how they got there is a little bit interesting. The Singapore-based company has combined online shopping with the gaming news of its separate mobile game arm, Garena, creator of Free Fire, Brazil's most downloaded title for 8 consecutive quarters, no surprise there, to generate sales. Analysts estimate at almost a third of local champion Magazine Luiza SA. So that's the biggest e-commerce platform in Brazil, a local company. So it's very interesting. They're using mini games and their digital entertainment wing, which is already big in Latin America, to tie people in to their e-commerce wing as well by offering incentives and coupons. So it's kind of brilliant. They're using that arm there. And they have a bit of a history, C Limited does, of coming in late to markets and using what they've learned from others there to kind of give them a taste of their own medicine and outcompete them in their market. Very interesting. Back home, Shopee only needed 5 years to become Southeast Asia's most visited e-commerce website, overtaking the likes of Lazada, backed by China's Alibaba, and Tokopedia by Japan's SoftBank that they also took over there. So they have a history of doing this. And it doesn't end there. The article goes on to say, C's Brazil foray is just one element of its global ambition. Investment arm C Capital is also considering putting money into startups around Latin America. The firm has also taken Shopee, so their e-commerce platform, to Chile, Colombia, and Mexico. So more broadly around Latin America. So their e-commerce foray into Latin America really broadens their total addressable market. I mentioned the population of Southeast Asia that they currently serve. Well, Latin America, very similar population of 611 million. So they've nearly doubled that addressable market, and they're gaining market share there very quickly. Definitely Brazil is 1/3 of that population, and then also hitting Chile and Mexico. They're serving a large percentage of the population in Latin America. And not surprising, e-commerce is growing incredibly quickly as a whole in Latin America, similar to what we've seen in Southeast Asia and other markets, obviously, across the globe. It's continuing to grow around a 15% compound annual growth rate, and that is expected through 2023. Not surprising at all. So they're capitalizing on a growing market where they're also gaining market share. That's where you can really see that rapid acceleration growth, which we've seen with C Limited today, right? With these 100% plus revenue gains year over year. It's been pretty remarkable run. And e-commerce penetration is still relatively low in Latin America, very similar to actually Southeast Asia, around 5%. When you compare that to the US and about a 17% e-commerce penetration, there's a lot of room to run. But even at 5%, that's no small amount of actual merchandise volume given the massive population it's serving. So I think this is the kind of thing that a lot of people aren't really focused on, and a huge runway ahead for C Limited, given their massive growth in Southeast Asia. They could potentially have a lot of room to run given their rapid acceleration in these new markets. It's actually very exciting. We're really in the early innings of that, and something that really C Limited themselves haven't really highlighted as a major component of their business, when I could see this becoming, definitely potentially up to half their business. And it's going to be interesting to see how they compete with Mercado Libre. I know they're coming in and offering lower commissions to gain market share, and that's definitely coming at a cost. You definitely see that C Limited is losing money, right? They're not profitable. And to gain profitability, they're definitely going to have to raise those commissions up. So we would like to see them get to profitability eventually, but they're definitely taking an aggressive approach to gain market share in Latin America. And I don't know, that actually really excites me as an investor to see that potential massive runway ahead of them. That's where you can start to see maybe them potentially doubling the size of market cap of their company over the next handful of years, right? Moving forward. And that's really what I'd like to see. And that's all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. Happy investing.